Hi everyone, I'm Jen George from Tammy, Like-Minded Bitches, Skilled and all that jazz. But today I'm here with Shaun, the CEO of Hey You. Shaun, who the hell are you?
Firstly, thanks so much for having me, Jen. It's really great to be chatting to you today. Who am I? I am a guy with a funny South African accent. Came to Sydney back in 2000 and having kind of moved through professional services at Deloitte and the like, joined eBay. Had a great time working at eBay for 7 years, did a bunch of different things there.
Is that where the bromance began?
Yeah, sadly. Some people just can't get away from, but met some great people and learned a lot. That was a fantastic journey to be on. Since then, I've run a lot of different businesses in the online space. I love roles where I see an opportunity, businesses that I think have got a big opportunity to grow. And I've been very fortunate actually to have run business in lots of different categories, and now been at Hey You a couple of years running it and loving it.
It's awesome. What was that process? When the Hey You team approached you to kind of get on board, to kind of investigate something like that for yourself? How did you make that decision?
Yeah, it's an interesting one actually. So I've been following the business back even when it was Beat the Queue, and what was really remarkable from kind of when I first started following the business was how engaged their customers were and how they spoke about the business. And I thought, wow, this is kind of interesting where their customers are very emotionally engaged, feel very strongly, say things like BTQ and then later Hey You has changed my life. There's a little secret sauce, there's a bit of magic in this business. So I was really intrigued by that. And then got introduced through some investors and actually a lot of people involved in the business I knew and introduced me that way, which is great. So
meant to be.
Meant to be, yeah, fate.
That's awesome. And it's kind of from day one when you came into where you guys are now. Yeah. What have been the highlights? What's happened?
There have been many. I think firstly, just coming in, a real highlight for me is every day actually is that recurring theme around how engaged and how attached our customers are to the business. So, and tell not a lie, but hearing repeatedly from friends and people who don't even know I work at Hey You, how they find Hey You important to their lives. And, I still find it intriguing, and I think it took me a while to get my head around that. And what I'm now understanding is Hey You is not really just a place you can order, an app you can order your coffee from. It does that functionally, but what it really does and why people have that deep engagement is the time it saves people and it saves busy people. So, I think the one kind of my realization is we're not in the ordering business, we're in the time-saving business. Yeah. And if I can save a busy person, or Hey, you can save a busy person 10 minutes every time they make an order, that's 20 minutes a day for busy professional, whatever, even a student, that does change your life actually, and that's really the business we're in, and that's what excites me. So that's the highlight I hear every day when I hear that. And the other highlight for me is I pop down and get my coffee or lunch, having ordered with Hey You, and hearing the stories from our cafes or fast food venues around how important we are to their business. Guy down the road tells me, every week more and more orders come through, and wow, it's a big part of my business. And that's a good business to be in, where your customers love you, and the businesses you deal with rely on you and find you important to their business. So that's a highlight. And then working with a great team. I think, as I'm sure you would agree with, it's so important to work with people that you respect, love, and can learn from. And I'm very fortunate to have the team we've got. We keep pushing through. We keep pushing through milestones every week, and we have personal best little victories on our Friday meetings, which is fantastic. So being part of any high growth businesses is fun, particularly when you've got happy customers and businesses that rely on you and a great team.
Fantastic. And so some of the work, I suppose first place we probably start is, what's your business model?
So we're in the business of working with venues to offer them a mobile sales channel effectively. So how our model works is we're aligned in terms of the more orders or sales we send the venue, the more fees we make. So it's effectively a percentage of what we send them, and it's got to be obviously incremental to their business. So the nice part about that is, customer pays us when they order. We then deposit money into our business's accounts once a week. So for them, we're a source of cash and income, which is great. And obviously we hold our fees as part of that process, but it's extra value that they see from our service.
What they're getting.
Overall the numbers work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the trouble with every two-sided marketplace is supply and demand, right? So how did you, a couple of years ago, approach managing your supply and demand versus how you are now? What have you learned along the way? Yeah,
that's a great question actually. So traditionally, HeyU has been focused on building out. There we go.
Simon Smith is here.
So we really, acknowledge the fact that you need coverage on your cafe, fast food places. You need lots of great places to order from. That's a primary kind of need for the business. So we focus on going out there, building up that network, and that's still a very important part of our business. And not just about selling, but actually providing this tool and a solution, and then helping those businesses use the service that we offer. So a lot of effort in there. Traditionally, the customer side, the demand, has really grown organically, which again is quite surprising and different to a lot of the businesses I've been involved in the past. So, what it demonstrates to me is we are delivering a better customer experience, a significantly better experience than they had before, and one that is strong enough that people do refer in friends, which is rare, and it's our key channel for acquisition, and then kind of organic growth off the back of it. Going forward, that mix is changing. So I think where we're in a position in Australia, and particularly in Sydney and other growing markets, is we feel confident we've got a good coverage in terms of those businesses, those cafes, and fast food sites. And now there's an opportunity to kind of get that word of mouth out there. It's almost been a bit of a best kept secret, and we really want to kind of share the news and get more people to participate and enjoy what we think a better experience of ordering and a better way to experience everyday hospitality.
Fantastic. So we've obviously been speaking to lots of people, and people like Tidy Me, Stacey, the founder, Stacey Jacobs. They have their own reporting for measuring their unit economics. They've actually custom built a tool. How do you guys keep track of your unit economics to make sure you are making money with your marketplace? So I think there are two sides to it. There's kind of the business acquisition piece, and we've obviously got a CRM and track our leads and conversion rates as you would, and that's really powerful. And kind of the key obviously is being structured around that approach, but generally quite easy to measure. On the consumer marketing front, which, as I said, is kind of newer for us because we've really had the benefit of this organic growth to date. We're using tools like AppsFlyer and other tools around being able to attribute not just the registration but the future activity of customers, so that we've got a good handle on the ROI of our campaign. Yeah, exactly right. So we're lucky, like most digital businesses, where we data rich. It's all about looking at the right data and tracking the key metrics. That's great. And what does the future hold for HeyU?
So we think there's a huge opportunity. The space we play, we call it everyday hospitality. So everything excluding premium dining or your pizza delivered at home. That market is massive, right? And hasn't actually changed in a lot of ways. And it's only now in the midst of real digital disruption. So when I kind of look into the future, forecast the future, I really think, when my son grows up, he's going to think it's crazy that people order over the counter, or even at your casual cafe or restaurant, waiters and waitresses came out and served you, and then you had to wait for the bill to get brought to you. And it really doesn't make sense. So I think there's a big wave of change that we're in the middle of, and it's all about kind of getting it kind of mainstream and working with businesses and talking to the public around how this is a better way to order and pay. For me, it's a lot like people used to, before Uber, there was a certain way to interact with taxis, and I, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree, the Uber experience is just superior in a lot of ways. And once you've experienced it, you wouldn't turn back often. So I think same is happening in our space. So I think in our world, it's all about, more people, doing what we offer today, which is around ordering ahead of your coffee and walking past your takeaway coffee. Then the same for your lunch, beat the queue at lunchtime as well. And then potentially in future, before dinner, you might be at a pub and having a beer, and you think about having a burger. You shouldn't have to go to the counter and get buzzers and things like that. You should be able to order through your mobile device as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And obviously, to achieve all this, you guys have been able to create a great culture and a great team to support this business. So, what is your culture like? And what's your top tips for hiring the right people?
Yeah, great. So I think we spend a lot of time as a team talking about the culture we want and who we are as people. I think you've got to stay true to that. One of the things we focus a lot on is focus. So we're lucky. We've got heaps of opportunities for our business, which is super exciting. To me, the trick to unlocking the value from all those opportunities is being clear on which ones you focus on and do a really good job, not try and spread yourself too thin. So, one of our kind of key values is focus on generating great results. So focus on the things that are going to deliver the results that you're really after and having clear, measurable targets. So, I still think, hand on heart, we could get better at that, and it's a journey, but that's something we keep reminding ourselves of. What are the things we're doing, but also what are the things we're not doing, and just kind of staying true to that focus. But I think other than that, it's a down-to-earth place, very little hierarchy. I'd say, we've been very fortunate hiring some great people. A lot of the people that we bring in come from a hospitality background, which, number one, is helpful because they can understand the businesses we work with. But also what we found, if you come from a hospitality background, there's a certain culture from that space. It's all about customer service, being helpful, being organized, systems, processes, things like that are really important. So that's been a good space to recruit from, which has been interesting.
That's great. And what does the future team look like? Are you hiring at the moment?
Yeah, so we've actually filled a bunch of positions. We're gearing up for a big year this year, and I'm super excited the people we're bringing on. We've got a couple more starters next week across the business. On the sales front, obviously, as we expand our network, that's important. We've got a really great. I won't mention a name because he hasn't started yet, but a chief product officer that we've just hired from a business which
it's
already named. I don't think they're pretty upset with us right now, but I'm very happy. So I think that's going to be amazing having someone like that on board. We've also, on the development front, been fortunate. I've got a great CTO. We've got a couple of people locally. We've also got a team offshore in Manila. The tenure there has been amazing. You hear a lot of good and bad stories about offshoring, particularly on the dev side. And we've been fortunate to inherit some really great people over there. We've been able to really build that team out. So that's exciting. We'll carry on building that team out.
That's great. Yeah, definitely. And, dealing with people, tech, trying to grow a startup, there are a lot of challenges that we face every day, right?
Yes.
What's been one of the hardest challenges that you've had to face?
Yeah. I think I probably, if I narrow it down, it's maybe not that original, but finding great people. So, every now and again, it's something hiring kind of comes in waves, but, there's obviously always pressure you have on yourself to keep growing and execute fast. And sometimes there's pressure to hire quickly to make sure you do that. But it's also important to hire the right people, So I think sometimes you just can't control that timing, and you have to be patient and get the right people. So that can be a challenge. You said you were going to have that position hired then, and it might have taken a month or two, but that's important. I think there's better two ways. And then just going back to the focus point, that's something I struggle with personally, and my team struggle with. Just keep narrowing it down. We keep reminding ourselves, set the priorities, focus on them, but also be adaptable. I think that's the balance. I think people sometimes assume you can do one but not the other, but I think focus on those priorities, but the priorities can change, and we're open to change. And I think that's something I've been really proud of the team, and we've always had that in our DNA, being open to change. You know, I think that's super important. You know, there are other businesses we've always done it a certain way. You can't act like that when you're in a dynamic space.
Yeah. And it's funny, every startup has that challenge where it's a founder or team about hiring the right people.
Yes.
But then they also feel like they're not having the same challenges as other startups.
Yes.
So what's the piece of advice you wish you knew coming into the startup world?
I wish I knew. What's the so there's a heap. I think I think you just keep getting better at focus. I think the startup world is getting that balance between, as a leader, working with great people, having great focus, and engaging at the right level with the team. I think what founders and leaders bring, or should bring, I believe, is passion and be able to get involved at a high level, but also at an executional level as well. But do it in a positive way, and being able to kind of get that balance right between delegation and get the most out of their team, but also involve at the right time. And I think there's no secret sauce to that. It's kind of a judgment, but you can err on both sides. You can delegate too much and not be involved in the day-to-day enough, and you can annoy your team by getting too much. So I think that's, I don't know if that's really an answer to your question, but that's probably just something. I think just being clear in your mind around where you can add value, and spending time in those areas and focusing on those things.
That makes perfect sense. It's interesting because I'll catch up with founders and literally have to sit there and say there are no right answers. It's being adaptable and being able to change when you realise it's the wrong path, and then just keep moving forward, because everyone in this room is having the exact same challenges you are. Rather than the fear of what step do I next take because I'll step on glass or whatever. You can just hold still and do it.
And I think just be authentic. I think you will make mistakes, especially with your team and the board, and best and whatnot. Just being authentic about those things. I think as long as people are open, got the best intentions, and they adapt and learn, I don't think you have to always tell people what they want to hear, but it's important to fess up. There was a decision we made recently, which, hang on a lot, I should have made that decision a month earlier and rolled it out, and it meant it was a slight stop-start in the process. But I think being upfront with the team, going, hey, this is what we're doing. We should have done this a month ago, but now we're doing it now. It's not ideal, and I think that kind of openness people respond well to, and I think that people don't respond well when things are just brushed over and moved on. So
you're a human at the end of the day.
Exactly right.
So managing boards and trying to raise money, what's your advice to people on how to handle them both?
It's a challenge, right? I think, and I don't have the answer to this. I would say, work with people who can help you, but I think there's a reality around raising money is very time consuming. And you've just got to be realistic around how much time it is, and then what that's going to take away from other areas, and what's really important. I mean, ultimately, if you can't raise money, that's a major problem. So focus, that should be your number one focus, and then try and compact the time frame so that you can get through that. What you don't want to do is have that process drag on, or have that process repeat itself every few months, because that can be a huge distraction. So I think that's the one. I think the other kind of learning I've had is try and get a reality check early on in the process with fundraising.
Your business is actually out. If you can't raise, it's a fundamental problem.
Well, there's that, but I think also a lot of people are interested in hearing your story and then trying to figure out who's a real potential investor and who's just there for the kind of story and the learnings, and spend the time with the ones who are most likely going to actually participate and actually fit with your business and what you're looking for as a shareholder at the end of the day. So I think that's really important.
That makes sense. So podcasts, books? How do you keep learning as a leader as well?
I mean, I think everyone learns different ways. I do a little bit of reading. I'm a kind of a hands-on guy. Like I learn by doing. So like, I jump into the next tool and try and figure out how it all works and whatnot. I find that.
What's your favourite tools at the moment that you should be checking
well,
out?
AppsFlyer is one of them, and I really yeah, that's pretty cool. I love data, so anywhere that I can kind of get insights on data, that's awesome. And learning from people, like I think every time you have a meeting, you can learn something from somebody, right? Like it's going to be good. So it may feel, even when you're interviewing a candidate, there's an opportunity to learn from somebody there. So it's just like every day. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is a contentious question.
Yes.
Google Home or Alexa?
Whoa. Jury's out. Yeah. I won't make a call on that, but I want one that's going to integrate best with hey. We're looking at a few options at the minute.
That's very different fancy. Dan Goldie from Alexa is watching right now. So hey, Dan. Sorry. And then mental health is a big thing that doesn't necessarily get spoken about a lot in the startup scene. What are ways that you keep your headspace and make sure you're doing the right things so you can run a very tight ship in the business and also keep things good upstairs, so to speak? Yeah. Or how do you do that with your team as well to make sure they're taking care of themselves? Yeah, no, I love that question. So again, basic stuff, but what works for me, and we talk about, is exercise. Like I think that's almost exercise is a chemical reaction, and you feel happier, and that's good for your mental well-being. So I try to exercise a couple of mornings before work during the week, and that's something I really take seriously and enjoy. For me, that's swimming. Everyone's got a different version. Eat healthy. Hey, you've got plenty of great salads on sales. There's no shortage of healthy lunches. In moderation, coffee's great as well. So I think those are the basics. Get enough sleep. So we've all got a lot of work to do, and I've got a family, and you try and work a lot of things. But being flexible with how you work, I think you can still get a lot of work done without cutting into what your minimum sleep is, and that's different for everyone. But I know what I need, and I try and make sure that. I might have a few nights where I'm short, but I can look after myself and sleep. I do think, like, probably as important as those which are obvious, but is the whole emotional sharing side. So I'm very lucky. I've got some friends who have a similar background, experience to myself, that I can talk to about the good and the bad things. And I think that's really important. Being able to be open about things. I think everyone wants to hear about the good stuff. And often people think that they can't talk about the challenges and the problems, whether it's personal or professional, whatever it is. And again, this is maybe a sample of one, but I think particularly a lot of men, maybe even my age, aren't great at that, so they're not good at being open and honest about what's a struggle and what's not. And I feel passionate about that, about encouraging people to be vulnerable, share the good and the bad. And it's certainly been really helpful for me to be able to have those conversations with friends and colleagues. Yeah. If any startups are watching, would you be comfortable if they reached out to you and to catch up and?
Absolutely. And anyone who is watching, I really, I think it's a sign of like strength and something like I hope my son, when he grows up, he feels comfortable being vulnerable emotionally and supportive of others as well. I think that is something that's really, really important.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so how can others support you guys during your journey? I know you're trying to hire anyone at the moment?
Yeah, well, we've hired a bunch of people, but the one role that is open is an analyst. So we're looking for someone. We've got all this data, some really interesting stuff to crunch, and we could do with somebody who loves data to join our team. Across the board, always looking for good people from a range of different backgrounds. But in terms of support, any suggestions, any feedback, we're pretty open. We don't pretend we've got all the answers as a user. If there's a better way to do something, if there's a business out there that has suggestions, love to hear them. And other than that, tell your friends, download the app. Hey, I got a tip for you. Use the promo code, hey Shaun, SHAUN, and you get a free coffee if you're a new customer. We've got a competition, so who whoever gets the most referrals wins in our team. So, you know.
Everyone done that.
Yeah. Hey,
Shaun.
Hey, Shaun.
67,000.
There you go. Very good. Very good.
So we're sitting right now in the Sydney Startup Hub at Fishburners.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your experience coming in now that you've got so many different co-working spaces here? What's the impact been for you guys?
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's some really interesting businesses we've got to know as a team, and my team love it because you know, we've got a nice sized business, but being part of something bigger and being part of the community just makes life a little bit more interesting. And we can all learn from each other, and side learning is just quite energizing being part of that community. So that's been great. And you know, hopefully we can give back to the community as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great space, and we're very happy here. Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you think that impact's going to be then on greater, you know, Sydney and then Sydney, Australia, the global ecosystem? Do you think this is going to, you know, take us a large step forward?
Yeah, I definitely would hope so. You know, I think there are really some amazing success stories out there, Tassie and many others, and I think places like this bringing the community together is fantastic. I think you know, the various components of successful businesses, funding being one, culture being another, community being another. I think all are important, and I think places like this just encourage it, and I think it can only be a good thing for Australia. Really, I think also just inspire young people. You know, it's now cool to work at places like this, and it's real and it's accessible. You know, so
you're not wearing flip flops and shorts.
Tomorrow.
It's a dream. So I ask everyone this, but if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know. You're asking me this creative question. Superpower. I mean, the things that number one, like a mini superpower, is if I didn't have to sleep at night, I'd have more hours in the day. I'm sure that's not the most original, but you know, I think it's just so much to do, and balancing everything is always a challenge. You know, so I always envy people that say they can do it with a couple of hours sleep. But I'd love to do it with less sleep and get more done.
It's funny, every startup founder says they want more time in the day, or they want to be able to rewind time so they can catch up and do it quicker. Go super fast. So
and you know, our little kind of mantra as a team is to save time for what matters, right? Like, and I think that's important. Things matter to different people, but time is becoming a more and more valuable commodity. I think that's what I'm excited about. Hey, you, but you know, personally as well, anything that can generate more time or saving time is important to me.
Awesome. So what was that coupon code one more time? So hey
Shaun, SHAUN, not SEAN, SHAUN. Hey Shaun, HEY.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, and hope all goes well for you.
Thanks, Jess. Great chatting to you. Thank you.
It's a very official ending.